Hello to myself, Anit Maria. Hello to Liliana, my lovely co
Hello.
host. Welcome, everybody, to the podcast where we drop the mask, get real, and talk about the things that matter. We expose what silence destroys. No filters, no shame, just honest conversations about life's challenges, the choices we make, and how those choices shape who we become. Today, we're exploring a questions that millions of people ask themselves every single day. What does it really mean to heal? Is healing simply the absence of illness, or is there something deeper taking place within us? In this episode, Liliana shares her extraordinary journey. It's really extraordinary, believe me. Put up your listening ears. From chronic illness, pain, despair, to a complete different understanding of health, healing, and life itself. It is a complete thing, so listen well. Together, we'll explore how awareness, emotions, the mind, the body, the spirituality, the soul can all play a role in the healing journey. And believe me, it does. And what current science tells us about these powerful connections. Whether you're living with illness, supporting someone who is ill, or simply searching for a deeper understanding of yourself. We hope today's conversation offer insight, hope, and perhaps a way of looking at healing, a new way. So let's begin. Liliana, it's all yours. We're listening.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this podcast. So, what we're doing here, we try to share our experiences to inform what we went through, and if anything resonates with you, you can research into deeper for your own knowledge. So, for those of you who didn't follow us from the beginning. My story in brief, I was always kind of sick up to my highest point of my career that I was working in the Middle East. Basically, I had to stop working because I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia. I had a tumor on my liver, I had a cyst in my brain, and I had high blood pressure, and I was in a ton of medication. Basically, I ended up in a wheelchair and I couldn't leave home. And I was stuck in the desert at 50 degrees plus, where I started considering to kill myself.
Yes, you are not in a good
So
place at all, basically.
no, not at all, not at all. That was the lowest point of my life. Uh, well, what I want to say here is that until then, I followed the science, the medicine, I followed everything that the medical institution can offer. So it was medication on medication, and more medication I took, and the worse I got. So there was no improvement. So basically, I ended up in a wheelchair, and after that, there was just numbing medication on top of all your medication because I couldn't cope with the pain.
But you went to doctors, I assume. How much doctors? And were they like normal doctors, or were they like the top doctors? And you want to explain a bit of this? Did you ask two opinions, or only one opinion, or?
Yeah, I had the fortune, I should say, that because we were working in the Middle East, we had good contracts. We had private insurance, so
Okay.
we had access to the best doctors, the best
Okay.
specialists.
Yes.
I remember to go to those Harley Street specialists in London. I went to the doctors in Milano, the doctors in Rome. I went to the doctors in South Africa. I went to, to the Middle East where I was to see the best specialists from the
Yes.
US.
International, basically, worldwide. Yeah.
Yes. So I had access to the best doctors, I should
Yeah.
say. And none of them could find a solution to my problems.
No, it got worse, you said.
Yes, because everyone was adding medication on top of my medication. And when you're suffering of something, and mine was fibromyalgia. Some doctor used to say, "Oh, this is all in your head."
Yes.
So you cannot prove it. It's
I
like
hear that even now.
lupus.
Yes. I
Yeah.
hear that now from doctors here. Yes.
So you're left by yourself, and as I was saying, I started looking for alternatives.
Yes.
Now I'm gonna start with one simple quote, I should say, that says the environment signal the genes. Now, what is this? So the environment signals the genes. I heard this the first time by Dr. Bruce Lipton. And honestly, it took me a while to understand what it really meant.
This Dr. Bruce Lipton, first of all, what kind of a doctor is he? Because there's
Bruce
many
Lipton
different doctors.
is a scientist from, I think, Canada or US, who is famous for his research in epigenetics.
Okay, epigenetics field, yes.
Yeah. So that's his groundbreaking
Yes.
research in epigenetics. Looking back, I can see that my healing didn't start with that understanding, really. It started earlier. Almost by accident.
Oh, there's no such thing as an accident, so it had to be like that, probably.
Yeah. So basically, after my illness and isolation in the desert, I started reading. And it began with a book. So not a science book, because until then I had enough of doctors' medication that didn't work. So this time I picked up a different book, a meditation book. And in it, I came across an idea that stopped me in my tracks. That we were, in some way, energetic beings.
Oh.
That thought stayed with me. I started meditating, and I noticed something I didn't expect. So my body started responding, not just through my mood, but something deeper, something physical. I could feel the shift, the difference. It was until later, when I came across Bruce Lipton's work, that I finally understood why. So basically, he explains that our genes aren't fixed instructions that we are stuck with. They are more like a blueprint, and what determines how that blueprint gets used isn't the genes themselves, it's the environment. That is the very interesting part. It's the environment around the genes. So when he says the environment signal the genes, what means the signals refers to chemical, emotional, and energetic
That's the environment.
aspects that tells the genes what to do.
Okay, I understand, yes.
Very interesting.
Yes.
So that's when it clicked for me.
Yes.
If meditation was changing how I felt, it was because I was changing my internal environment.
Yes.
So, and if I was changing my environment, I was sending new signals, literally
Yes.
speaking, a different language to my own self.
Yes.
So that was the beginning, not the knowledge first, then experience. I experienced this first, and then I came across the full information by this Bruce Lipton.
Okay.
So I felt something change before, as I was saying. And once I understood why, I could go deeper on my purpose. I now have a better understanding how our body responds and why I was in that condition. So I said something has to change. We are energetic beings. We respond to energy. If meditation works, so while I was reading those books and practicing meditation, then while I was practicing meditation, I bought all the books I could buy, and I came across another doctor who's called Joe Dispenza.
Yes.
I heard about him.
I heard of
So,
it. Very famous as well.
so he does marvelous workshops and those meditations, and I experienced these meditations, and then I could feel even more how your body reacts to the environmental changes. And those environmental changes is not where you are. It's mostly what Joe Dispenza calls the emotions,
How you
the
feel.
energy in motion. That's the way
Mm-hmm.
he defines that. So
Yes.
if we can control that, then we can control our genetics, our
Yes.
genes. So after that, reading those books, I came across Reiki. And that was something absolutely new to me. I said, Reiki? What is this Reiki? And so this Reiki, for those who, like me back then, doesn't know what Reiki is, Reiki originated in Japan a long time ago. And the word itself is divided in two. It's the Rei, which means universal or spiritually guided energy. So so the Reiki is life force moving through a person, and the person who practice Reiki, which is the practitioner, become a conduit between the life force, the universal life force, and the person who's prepared to receive this energy. So this was all new to me, and in a way, because I come from a religious education, and even what happened right now in Italy, that is on the news. The Catholic Church from the US, a group of exorcists issued some church documents that condemns Reiki because it's seen as something dangerous. It's seen as something spiritually unsafe.
They burned the witches, the so-called bad witches back then, who were in fact good witches, but oh, it's unsafe, let's burn them. It's a little bit of same scenario but different, yeah.
So we were, because in the US, I know it's quite a while, even up north Europe, some hospitals used to introduce Reiki
Yes.
in
In
the
the UK
cancer
as well.
patient.
In the UK as well, there's hospitals
Yeah,
using Reiki.
but in Italy now it's been banned. Hospitals are shutting those
Suddenly.
areas. Yeah, because the church has decreed that is satanic. I don't know. It's.
Yeah.
So basically, then I mean, we know why they do that because they don't want to lose control and they
Yes.
want to keep the course,
Yeah.
the dominance of religion, even in the hospitals. So Reiki is universal life force that allegedly will help people to heal.
Yes.
Now, I was so curious that I started practicing myself. Before even I joined my first training, and through the book I was reading and I was experimenting with my hand, and I could feel this energy coming, and I was so wow. And then I started experimenting on my cats, on my husband, and I was doing on myself, and you could feel the changes. Of course, you could not scientifically prove because it's not easy, but you can feel the changes. And I've trained myself to become a Reiki practitioner, and I've done all my studies and practices. I've done 2 types of Reiki, and Reiki comes with many modalities. Each practitioner had their own vision of how this should be, imposed their own way and made their own modalities. My first training was with this Japanese Jikidini Reiki, it was called, and they would have you recite a mantra in
Yes.
Japanese before you started any practice. Every time you start, because otherwise you wouldn't get the flow of the energy. And then when I came back here in the UK, I went to Scotland. There was this lady was offering this Reiki full immersion, and again she had a completely different way of doing Reiki. The thing is, what I recognized in these things, for me, what was important was I could feel the energy.
Yes.
And I could feel the shift. I could feel the improvement in myself. So then I started practicing, I started offering this to other people. So for those who doesn't know, I'm going to explain briefly. Basically, Reiki is you will lay down on a bed, and then the practitioner will come close to you, will put the hand on your body. As I said, maybe some people scan your body to see if there is any blockage, an energetic blockage in your body. Some people, they don't do that. They just put the hand on the shoulder, on the head, on your knee, wherever they feel there is some stuck energy. You fully clothed, and usually will last 45, 60 minutes per session. And people report all sorts of experiences from, being totally relaxed, from having visions. Some people have some releasing to do, maybe they start crying.
Because you know what? I'm a Reiki one as well, and when I was first the patient, I had visions of stuff, and even the lady giving it to me had visions that afterwards came true. It was really bizarre. And then one other lady, which I gave Reiki to, had, like you said, a release session. She cried so much, but she was happy. She said, "Oh, yeah, I'm so happy. This is off of me. I feel lighter now." So yeah, it's doing something with people.
It is, of course, scientifically you cannot prove, but it's a direct connection with the energetic field. And as we know, all around us there is information. So we cannot prove that, but we tap we are energy and antennas connected to
Yes.
universal consciousness, where we send and receive information.
You cannot prove intuition also, but it's there. When a mother senses the children are in danger, you don't have to bullshit her because she feels it. No scientist can be there noting when she feels because you can't.
You feel it.
You feel
Exactly.
it.
How you
The
feel it,
point.
I always say, is like your phone. Where's my phone? I don't know. It's like your phone with a Wi-Fi. You receive that connection. that information.
You don't see the Wi-Fi anywhere, but it's there.
Yeah. And that is the Reiki experience.
Yes.
So, and it's healing. It's very healing. And I had, as I said, many positive experiences. Now, I did find a bit restrictive as a method because most of the times you had to remember all the processes uh, throughout the session, that sometimes your focus wasn't in channeling this energy, but was, oh, did I forget this? Or what's next? Or what to do next?
Yeah.
Then again, I love reading. Now I'm reading books about meditation, okay, the Reiki, and I came across this information about another type of healing, which is called Reconnective Healing, or the reconnection. So the reconnection, it starts with this doctor, and this doctor is a chiropractor from California. And while he was doing his practices, he feels something energetic taking over and healing people. It was not just, the movement of body that he was applying on people, but now was about people getting total healing. And he didn't know himself what that was. And so he came up with this reconnective healing. He couldn't figure out what that was. But he was so in tune with it. And then he learned himself about the Reiki or prana or touch, all this modality. And he felt like me. Everything was constructed and full of processes that you had to follow. So he came up with this idea that we as energetic beings, we don't need any type of restrictions.
Yeah. Protocol. That's not necessary.
And removing all these processes allows the energy to free even better. So he writes a book and he started practicing and offering those energy healing. I'm reading his book and I started practicing myself. I've removed everything from the Reiki, put a hand here, put a hand like this, and do this, do that. And I started practicing freely, and I can feel myself, this energy is exponentially greater. And I said, wow, amazing. So I joined this workshop 1 year in Italy and I experienced the beauty of it and I got the certificate and everything. So and I said, okay, I'm going to practice this. And so I went on. Then I buy the second book. And the second book, he talks about the energetic field, the energy field, and he goes into details. And he mentioned Erwin Laszlo. So Erwin Laszlo is a system philosopher and theorist. So he was a child prodigy from Hungary, and he's taught at some prestigious university in the US, a professor. And then he moved on into it's strange in a way because when you're at the height of your career, you have to be always very careful how he wrote about the 100 books. But so in his later life, he started writing books about the Akashic field.
Oh, very interesting.
As I said, Erwin Laszlo is a philosopher and a theorist. In the 1990s, his work led him to propose what he calls the Akashic field. So the idea of a cosmic information field that connects all things, drawing on the quantum physics language and Eastern spiritual concepts like the Buddhist Hindu Akasha. He spends decades trying to build a bridge between science and spirituality, proposing that everything in the universe is connected through what he calls an information field. It's a controversial idea in mainstream physics, but it gave me a framework to think about connection and consciousness that I found useful on my own journey. And in the meantime, I was already practicing the Akashic Records. So I can say I come from my own illness, having tried all the medical avenue, not finding anything beneficial to solve my problems. I'm now moving to the alternatives. And here comes my awareness and this new knowledge that is responding positively to me, to myself, and is improving my life. And everything I'm going through, it makes sense to me. Now I understand that we are more than this matter. We are not just matter, but we are energetic as well. So energy plays a big role in our lives. And as Bruce Lipton said, the environment signals your genes.
We are not only the we are not only the meat suit.
Exactly. So we are a bit of electricity as well. And this electricity, it can be receptive and is receptive to positive or negative environments.
Yes.
So, and I'm finding comfort, I'm finding results, something that is shifting and is improving my health, is improving my life. My mind becomes clearer. I'm starting getting rid of medication and
Yes.
find new avenues to solve my health issues. And after Irving Laszlo and his books, he wrote so many books. I had up 4 or 5 books that he goes in depth. And that confirms now, because when I was proposed to learn about the Akashic Records, I was so skeptical and scared at the same time, because I said, you're going to open doors here that, because the religion has taught us things we don't know, that dark, demonic, you have to stay
Yes.
away, these are all negative things. But when I approach that from a scientific point of view, which gives me a scientific explanation that energy connects to this energetic cosmic consciousness, and all the information between us and the cosmos is there, and we are always connected. Now our connection depends on our awareness and how sharp our awareness is.
Yes.
Because we've been indoctrinated that if we want to communicate with our higher self or our consciousness, we need an intermediary, which is the priest, which is the guru, which is, somebody else that has to act between you and the non-seeable world. But that's not the case, because we are always connected. We just never been told.
Yeah, we are told to look outside ourselves But it is inside ourselves that we have to look.
Exactly.
It was the big lie all along for all of us.
Absolutely. So keep us dumbed down
Yes.
and keep us controlled, keep us ignorant, and that we always have to rely on others. So having now this knowledge and this awareness that we can change our environment and we can tap into this information, that was a big thing for me. With that, I started practicing the Akashic Records. Now, the work I do now with the Akashic Records is basically think of it as an energetic field, as I said, that this energetic field or the universal consciousness that we are all part of holds the imprint of everything a person has lived. So it is for everything that exists in this world. Everything is recorded. And you will say, how? Erwin Laszlo explained in his book, basically, everything that happens, for example, if, let's say, you break your leg, what happens is that creates an atomic level of wavelength that it will shift throughout the energetic field and is going to be recorded there.
You mean suffering then? The wavelength of suffering because it's painful breaking your leg. That's what you mean?
No, it's as a record. Because everything that happened, it creates a wavelength because has happened. So it's a kind of, so if I drop this pen, yes, creates a sound.
Yes.
And this sound is going to be recorded.
Yes.
It's going to be there. So a birth, a death, a fight, an argument, drug abuse, a car accident, anything will create an energetic shift because something breaks, something moves, something shifts.
Yes.
And every movement, because we're talking about the atomic, subatomic level, is going to be recorded in the field. So what are the Akashic Records? That's probably would be the question to explain. The Akashic Records, the practice I do is a healing method. So Reiki, the reconnection is on-person healing. It's one-to-one. You have the person with you.
Yes, true.
The Akashic Records energy healing is a distance way of healing something or healing the person or healing an event. And the way that is done is there is a specific language. Again, the language has a power itself. Words are energetic vibration.
Very
Each
powerful.
word has strong energetic vibration. So why do I use the Akashic Records as healing method is to access the person energy records and instruct using the command language to remove negative energies, to improve the status of the condition, and to realign this energetic being to its original status.
So, for example, I give you now an example. Let's say that a man asks you to do the Akashic Records for him, but he doesn't remember anything because there was an accident but let's say that this man in his childhood, we are going to take one thing, was beaten all the time. No sexual abuse, no language. He got beatings, but he doesn't remember. But he feels there is something, and then there was an accident, he forget, and he wants to know, so what do? This man comes to you, or is on the computer and says, listen, I want you to do Akashic Record healing for me. So what, explain to the audience uh, what are you going to see? You're going to see, obviously, that this happened with the records. It's recorded, the beatings as a child, which he don't remember and stuff. So what can you then do, and what are you going to tell him?
So this method, this is different from what I heard about the Akashic Records, because usually Akashic Records is done one-to-one, accessing the other person's records and saying, okay, yes, you went through this trauma, you were bitten, you don't remember, that has happened, so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
My way of doing the Akashic Records is completely different.
Okay.
I don't need the person in front of me in my own time. I need to access his energetic field. I'm specialized in healing the situation, act upon the trauma, remove that energy, realign that energy, detach that traumatic energy from the person, send back to the universe to be purified and never to go back to that person, and to free the person and realign that energetic field of the person to source. My specialism comes in clearing and realigning.
Okay.
It's not telling the person, oh, this has happened, oh, that has happened.
Yes.
So this is the Akashic Records work that I do. I received this for myself. So that was another healing method that I used for myself, and it worked. I started practicing myself and offering to other people, and it works, giving very great results. And then the last but not least, so we're talking about, as I said, between science, metaphysics, spirituality. My last healing experience was a miracle, which, you hear people talking about miracles, but if you don't experience yourself, I was always a skeptic, and until I received my miracle. So how has this happened?
Yes. I want to know.
So I had this migraine for 44 years, solid. After all my healing and after everything, I still had a migraine.
So the rest was
Migraine that
gone. The cyst was gone, in the liver the thing was gone, fibromyalgia was gone, not in the
yeah,
wheelchair anymore, that was all out of the
yeah.
window. The only thing left was the migraine.
My sister, she's very religious, which I've never been, and I never believed. And that day she was at home with me, and she asked San Camillo, which is a local saint in Italy, to intercede and remove my migraines that I had for 44 years. So that kind of pain that I went through, that pain I was carrying wasn't only physical. That was undetectable. I had the MRI scan on my head. They found a cyst, but it has nothing to do with the migraines. I had all sorts, I'm wearing glasses since I was 18 because that was giving me headaches. But that was something was not natural. The headache, supernatural imposed
Yeah.
energy we can call black magic. That's why no one could help with that. So my sister asks for a miracle, and I received a miracle. She asked, and my headache disappeared like this.
Yeah, you were like flabbergasted.
Absolutely, because there is nothing no way you can explain this
Yeah, no.
scientifically. And probably most of the people won't even believe it. But that is my own experience. And yes, miracles happen. And I'm a witness of those miracles. So I used to think healing meant finding the right pill, the right doctor, the right diagnosis. But my own body taught me something more complicated. I began with, as I said, a book that told me we are energetic beings. Then meditation, where I felt before I understood that something in me could shift and had shift. Then I went to Reiki. Then I asked the scientists question, what is this energy and where does it come from? Then the Reconnective Healing, where I saw the debate itself, some calling it measurable, others calling it unproven, because there's always a big debate about can you prove it? And then realize I no longer need the debate, settled to trust what I felt. I know this is always a big debate because no matter how much you experience, there are the skepticals. And I understand that because I was there. I was the worst skeptical. So if you would have told me this 20 years ago, even 10 years ago, I'd say, please stay away.
There is still hope then for all the skepticals.
Absolutely. So I've learned to speak directly to the energy, to shift it, to remove what no longer serves me. And I even offer that now. So regenerate what was depleted, realign what had fallen out of place. And then after 40 years, the migraine that no doctor could touch vanished. So not through medicine, as I said, through a miracle. When my sister asked for on my behalf, through fate, not my fate, her fate,
Yes.
reaching a place science had never been able to reach for me. And that is the truth. So when I return to Bruce Lipton world now, I hear them wider than I did at the start. The environment isn't only the food we eat or the air we breathe.
But wait a minute.
The book.
There is proof. You are the proof. So, no? Yes?
Yes, if you believe it.
But
yes,
you feel it.
but
you are not in a wheelchair suffering with migraine, so
yeah.
what's there to believe or not to believe?
Yeah, but it's for a skeptic person would be difficult to just accept it.
That's their energy.
Yeah. The books that find us at the right moment, the information that finds us at the right moment. It's the hands of a healer. It's a field we can't photograph. It's a prayer spoken by someone who loves us. All of it is a signal. You see how we can connect?
Yes, I do believe that.
All of it reaches the deepest, most unseen parts of who we are. And all of it can change what we thought was unchangeable. So I'm not here to tell you what to believe. I'm here to tell you what happened to me, what I've experienced. 40 years of pain, and then none. I can't fully explain it. I can only stand here, living proof that it happened. So if there is any one thing I want to leave with you today, is this: stay curious enough to ask the scientist question and open enough to receive the answer, even when it doesn't look like you expected. My genes didn't change that day, but everything signaling them did. And in the end, so did I.
Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us to this episode of Unfiltered and Raw. If there's one thing we hope you take away from today's conversation, it's healing doesn't always begin finding the perfect treatment, as Liliana explained. Sometimes it begins with awareness. Oh my god, I love awareness. With the courage to pause, to listen, to ask deeper questions. I believe the more you ask, the better. You have to be full of questions and not believe everything right away. To recognize that a true healing may involve the mind, the body, the emotion, and for many people, the spirit or the soul. Every journey is unique, as we know. What helped Liliana may not exactly help you, but we hope her story reminds you that change is possible, that hope is real, and that no matter how dark life may seem today, tomorrow can be different. If today's conversations touched you, please help us reach others who may need to hear this message and share this episode. Share your thoughts on the comments and subscribe to Unfiltered and Raw and turn on your notifications so you never miss another interesting episode. Now another thing, we both wrote books because writing is also healing.
We have indeed.
So we wrote, whatever we wrote, it's interesting. It's available on Amazon. Yeah. Paperback, Kindle version, and hardcover. And for you as well, the three kinds of. Yes.
Yeah, it's on Amazon. My books are available on Amazon, and the Kindle version or paperback version.
Interesting.
Okay.
And if you have, ladies and gentlemen, or ladies or gentlemen, if you have your own story, one that could bring hope to someone else, we would love to hear from you. You can book a confidential introductory conversation using the Calendly link in the description. Because every time someone speaks the truth, and we surely do, silence loses its power and someone else finds the courage to heal. So, until next time, take care of yourself, take care of everyone else around you, and your past does not define your future. Healing is possible, and your story isn't over yet. Bye everyone. Good evening.
Bye everyone.
E acqui del cesto pila peccando, non sono plena satrius est statutas pro meritus sum, sed rasset impia offendite.